The rule of proximity is the most important rule of design. What's the value? It's literally the main rule of design. Knowing it alone can improve any design, and it's the key tool for managing user attention, and managing attention is one of the main tasks of a designer. All that is the rule of proximity. But there's the next level, the rule of internal and external, the most important case of the proximity rule. Seriously, fixing these rule violations takes your design to the next level. The rule: objects placed close to each other are perceived as connected. Why is it important? Look at these examples and it will become clear. Relationships, unifications, and separations are the main tools of a designer. And the ability to merge and separate objects is the ability to make design. Because design is the ability to convey information, tell a story, guide through functions. And to do this, the designer, that is you, needs to arrange the information so that it itself becomes the main guide. And the main tool you have for this is contrasts. Contrasts of colors, contrasts of sizes, but most importantly, contrasts of spaces. The contrast of the information block and the negative space around it. It is this contrast that separates it from the surroundings and makes it more cohesive and collected inside. Let's anchor this with an example. Here's a slide with the slide title, article image, and a small text. What's wrong with the margins in this picture? Look for 5 seconds and think. Visually, the distance from the article title is the same to both the slide title and the picture, meaning on a conceptual level, it's equally simple to wrongly connect it with the slide title as it is correctly with the article. And because of this, it feels like there's no integrity in the block with the article information. Let's not fix it yet, but rather exacerbate the situation by adding a second article. Now, the problem is even more evident. The title of the second article is noticeably closer to the first article than to its picture. The composition has completely fallen apart. And I want to emphasize that the problem is not just in understanding the boundaries between the articles, but also in the lack of integrity within the blocks with the article information. That is, the design turns out to be loose and slightly falling apart into pieces, not coming together into cohesive blocks. And see how everything changes when we, without trying to beautifully and super competently relay out the entire page, just move the titles closer to their pictures. And on one hand, this is a simple rule that is easy to remember. On the other hand, my 20 years of experience working with other designers suggests that it takes experience in design literacy to notice the violation of this rule, and often juniors, and sometimes even middle designers, miss it. My advice, if you are not familiar with this rule or do not have the habit of checking every layout, practice a bit. Open Google Maps and look at the websites of the nearest businesses. I'm sure they are full of these rule violations. Just take a screenshot and roughly move the elements in Photoshop, bringing the layouts in line with the rule, and you will be amazed at how much it changes everything. And this rule is so basic for design that it is the only one I teach my designers and students to apply, even before the design stage, at the wireframe stage. Which says a lot, because in general, applying design rules to wireframes is strictly prohibited, because it can spoil and break the whole process. Why? Watch the video about the aesthetics of wireframes, one of the most important videos on our channel.